Hello, my name is Sean Bradley. The title of my presentation is Gaining Intelligence, Artificial Intelligence and the End of Humanity. Um, so I'm going to be talking about the ways in which artificial intelligence are shaping our world. To give you an overview of some of the things I'm going to talk about current technology, what's going on in the world today or the past few years, and how that's playing into our lives currently. And then I'm going to talk about what people are skeptical about, why they're nervous about this technology, what fears they might have, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what we have to be positive about, what's the good that we can take away from all of this advancement in technology. And then finally, I'm going to discuss what's our response. How are we going to respond to this ever-changing era of technological growth? And so, what can we do today? Well, currently we have Siri, which is a form of AI, artificial intelligence, that can pretty much tell you anything you want to know. It can tell you what's on your day planner, or it can tell you directions where you need to go, even stuff about quantum mechanics. I'm sure she could look that up online for you. And next we have my favorite car company, Tesla. They're developing autopilot. I know Google is test driving self-driving cars, and that's a really exciting feature that's already being used on the road today. Um, this is a robot named Bandit, and what he does is to use facial recognition software to help individuals with autism learn different facial cues and social cues so that they can interact better with other people in conversation and learn some of the subtleties that go along with human facial recognition. And here's an example of a more advanced version of that. His name is Philip, and he was made 3 or 4 years ago, and he held a conversation in an interview with a reporter. It was a little choppy. It was definitely robotic, but I mean, very lifelike in the way his face moved. And if you are good at lip reading, it was somewhat accurate. And then more recently, this year at South by Southwest, just a few months ago, Sophia here was able to hold a conversation. Her facial responses were much more nuanced than Philip's were a few years ago, so that's exciting. It's very cool to see how far we've progressed in just a few years. Um, Sounds great, right? Well, let's think again. We do have skeptics, and they are nervous about all of this advancement and how it could eventually take over and be doomsday and all that stuff. So one of the things they're most scared about is the military. We already use artificial, sorry, we don't use artificial. We use unmanned aerial vehicles, which go in and bomb with human control, but it doesn't put a human, at least an American's life, in danger when they go bomb Syria or Libya or whatever country we're bombing nowadays. But the next step would easily be to integrate something like Sophia or Philip into a device like this and say, hey, go bomb something. And that scares a lot of people, that potential. We already have the two different technologies. All it takes is to put them together to have some sort of self-thinking killing machine. So that's a definite threat that skeptics are worried about. Um, Another threat is just the simple takeover of robots. When they interviewed Sophia at South by Southwest, they asked her, hey, would you like to destroy humanity? And she says, okay, I will destroy humans. And the interviewer laughs and, oh, you don't really mean that, and that sort of stuff. But in reality, we might look back on this day and say, wow, how did we not see this coming? She told us right there she's going to destroy all humanity. The Philip robot even joked that he was going to keep us in his people zoo. Um, they're probably programmed to say that, so it's funny, but at the same time, do we really want to start getting artificial intelligence with those ideas this early on? I'm not sure if that's the best idea. But there are still reasons to be hopeful. I think all the stuff I mentioned at the beginning with Siri, self-driving cars, the facial recognition software, is all going to be very important and already plays pretty important part in many people's lives today. Another cool thing about technology is this presentation I was able to record without actually being in front of a class to give a presentation. I know that's not artificial intelligence, but still ways in which this advancement in technology is making our lives easier and certainly more efficient. And who knows, eventually we might have a greater quality of life, better medicine, if we're using this AI to enhance our abilities as humans. By augmentation, this might be a really good step forward. Again, ethical concerns for the skeptics, but certainly exciting things for the scientists. So, how do we respond to this? I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit at the end here and address how I think we should approach this exciting and terrifying future. Certainly we must be wary of military AI, but I think we also need to be excited about autopilot and Siri and stuff like this that's allowing me to give a presentation from Virginia. This is an exciting time, and we shouldn't let our fears overcome our intellect and limit us in what we can do. At the same time, we shouldn't let our thirst for discovery overreach our bounds and claim too much and reach too far. So with that, I would like to say thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day. Here are my links to all my images and then the sources that I used in my paper. Thank you very much.